Hi, friends. I'm Bryn, and this is the 1-year anniversary of Friends Who Crime.
Friends Who Crime.
That's right. You heard that correctly. Today is officially our 1-year anniversary episode, which feels completely fake to say out loud. Just wild. I cannot believe it's been a year. And if you have been here since the beginning, first of all, I love you. And if you're new here, hi, welcome. And you're stuck with me now. Honestly, this is a weird episode to start on. I would go back a couple episodes, maybe the Slender Man stabbing or the AJ Owens murder. But this one maybe not a good first episode if you've never heard it before. But anyway, since this is our 1-year anniversary, today's episode is going to be a little different. Today is going to be a bunch of throwbacks to past episodes. I'm going to do a top 10 countdown of the greatest moments on Friends Who Crime with clips of past episodes. And I'm going to get very mushy and gushy and reflect on the past year. Friends Who Crime started as this tiny idea in my brain because I loved listening to true crime podcasts, and one day I thought, what if I tried to make my own, which is bold, considering I had no idea what I was doing. But I wanted a hobby that took me away from work and music just for a little while, something different, but still creative, something that let me hyper-focus in a new way. And somehow that little idea turned into a really cool muse, and then into this whole podcast, and then into something that honestly has become a really regular part of my routine and my week. And that means way more than I ever expected. It has been truly so much fun, and I'm incredibly grateful. I cannot stress this enough. I'm incredibly grateful for y'all's patience while I've learned how to research and write and host and edit audio and fix terrible audio and re-edit audio and panic about audio and figure out how to stay consistent while also balancing sort of the emotional warfare that true crime inherently is. Because, this stuff is heavy, but I love it in a way. But anyway, okay, here's some statistics for you. Somehow, in the past year, I have released 40 episodes, covered 34 different cases, had 26 different guests, and hit over 2,500 downloads. All of this is absolutely wild, considering I started this in my apartment living room with a dream and one microphone and zero idea of what I was doing, none at all. And now I've upgraded to better mics. I've upgraded to a better apartment. I think my research has come a long way. Yeah. This podcast completely revolves around my guests, right? It's literally in the name. Without my guests, graciously giving me their time, this podcast would literally just be called Bryn Who Crimes, and that is significantly less fun. Every single guest who has sat across from me in person or remotely and trusted me with their time and their reactions, their emotions, their humor, this vulnerable thing that we call death, it's not easy, and I really cannot thank my guests enough. You're the heart of this show. And to every single listener out there, thank you. Really, truly, every single listen makes a difference. It doesn't matter if you've listened to 2 episodes or all 40, you are very near and dear to my heart. I especially want to thank my longtime supporters, the people I know are listening every episode. That includes, but is not limited to, Courtney, Savannah, my parents, Katie, and so many of you that hype me up and text me and DM me. That you share episodes, you actually, show up for this project. I know I'm leaving people out, and I hate that. But just know that I genuinely love all of you, and generally love all of you, I suppose. You make me feel heard, and you make me feel important, and you remind me that what I'm making here actually matters. And I also love my new listeners, especially the ones who, when I shamelessly plug this podcast, they're like, oh yeah, I'll give it a listen. And then they actually listen. That is the highest compliment I could ever ask for. I love when I get texts with reactions or voice memos or DMs with people's thoughts. And when people talk to me about episodes in real life, that is truly the best feeling. Like, here's what I thought about your episode on the Blood Countess, and like, this is what resonated with me. And a lot of times the things that resonate with other people are different than what resonated with me. So it's just the best feeling, and I just can't even describe. And of course, I absolutely cannot forget Boof and Basil. They have very much become part of the Friends Who Crime brand, and that is kind of not really on accident, but sort of on accident. They have impeccable timing. During recording sessions, they perform their emotional support cat duties without complaint, and they consistently insert themselves into episodes, like very much like, excuse me, this is my time, reclaiming my time. They are the emotional glue that holds me and this whole thing together. They create levity during some really morbid episodes where like there just needs to be a moment to breathe, and they're able to provide that space. It truly would not be the same without them. With that being said, here comes our first throwback clip. There's going to be a little noise to indicate before and after a clip, so you know like where we are in the podcast metaverse going on. So there's a little like to indicate here's a flashback and now it's over. Okay? With that being said, here is a chaotic cat clip that is one of my favorites. Boof and Basil, take it away. That they used a scripted READ technique, which stands for rapport, emotion, acceleration, despair. No. Wow. Run. Oh, I'm going to be involved. Are they okay? God. Like, yeah, no, they're fine. It sounds worse than it is. Stop the violence. It sounds worse than it is. Okay, we're going to try and keep going here. That was from the Austin Yogurt Shop episode. I think it was the second episode of that one with Courtney, and they just really went for it. They did. Anyway, all right. Now that I have put all of the mushy gushy out there and highlighted the cats and cried inside a little, let's rewind. Because one of my favorite things about this podcast is the moments. It's the stuff that you can't script, the reactions that you can't plan, the jokes that people throw out there that spiral out of control, and the conversations that somehow become way more meaningful than I expected them to be. So I went back through the past year, through the past 39 episodes, and pulled some of my absolute favorite moments from those episodes. These aren't necessarily like the best cases or the most intense stories. These are just like moments that made me laugh the hardest or feel the most or sit back afterward and think like, yeah, this is why I love doing this. So with that being said, welcome to my top 10 favorite Friends Who Crime moments, year 1 edition. Woo! I am going to be counting down from 10, my top 10 favorite moments ever so far in the past year on Friends Who Crime. We're going to start with number 10. Number 10 is episode 1 with Katie. This was the birth of Friends Who Crime. It had pretty bad audio. It had pretty bad research. It had a pretty bad awkward flow. I didn't know how much banter to leave in or what to cut out. But this is where it all started. This is the episode that started it all. And it's really dear to me because it reminds me how far, honestly, like how far the podcast has come. So listen to this stupid audio with Katie. It's going to be great. Number 10. She laughed while saying, I don't know if anyone will ever want to marry me if they know that I killed my boyfriend in self-defense.
I should think not.
And she also said, I don't think that what I did was necessarily completely wrong.
Girl.
She questioned life in jail. She said, if you go to jail, are you allowed to keep your phone? Can you shower there? Or do you just get really dirty? I have to shower in front of people? Oh, shit.
Maybe don't murder people and you don't have to deal with questions like that.
She's just like focused on this practical aspect of imprisonment.
Not thinking, oh no, I just murdered someone.
Right.
Supposedly in self-defense.
And my boyfriend.
Yeah,
that I've been
just
dating.
killed my boyfriend in self-defense. Like, if she had actually killed her boyfriend in self-defense, like, she'd be inconsolable.
Right.
She would be so upset. She'd be in a grief process. She's not grieving right now. She is self-centered, thinking of her own, oh, am I going to have to shower in front of people?
Right.
Can I bring my phone to jail? What?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that was episode number 1, the first ever. That was, I think, was it Ryan Poston and Shayna Hubers? That was the case with Katie. Now we're going to move on to number 9. This is going to be from episode 3 about the Chowchilla kidnapping. Courtney was my guest and she was perfect for it. At one point we were talking about the school bus being hijacked and how awful it was for these kids essentially being kidnapped, and Courtney kind of lightened it up with one of my favorite moments. He totally is. He's responsible for every single one of those kids. There's 27 people total, including him.
Maybe we should start giving bus drivers, like, some sort of weapon, like a sword, or like a sword. Something that wouldn't be dangerous to children, but, like, I guess a sword would be dangerous.
I like the idea.
Something creative that, you know, he could whip out in case of emergency.
Just like a bat or a BB gun. Or
Yeah,
something.
just on the off chance that you're driving a bus that gets hijacked and all the children are in danger.
A taser. A taser.
Yeah, no, a taser. That works. It's better than a sword.
Right. God, I love Courtney so much. There's a reason she's been a guest so many times. All right, number 8, best moments of Friends Who Crime. We're moving to episode number 10 about the Blood Countess with Logan. Cue the torture jokes. Logan is just a really funny guy. He was such a good sport in this episode. My favorite part was this like really hesitant response to the torture that the Blood Countess inflicted on her victims. I actually have a couple of clips here, so give this a listen. Legend has it that she had an affair with a peasant boy and got pregnant. Oops.
That would be an issue to, what was it, Franz?
Yeah, Ferenz.
Yeah.
When he found out about the affair, he castrated the peasant boy and threw him into a hungry pack of dogs.
That's one way to take care of that, I guess.
Yup. Very yikes.
Yeah, wow.
She would stab them under their fingernails with needles. She would cut, burn, and even bite chunks out of their flesh. Ugh, it just, like, even just talking about it makes my body hurt.
Ugh.
She would beat them. She would starve them to death. She would strip them of their clothes and set them out in the freezing weather to freeze to death.
Oh, so she was, like, truly just horrible. Like, she was just any way she could be.
Yes. she would cover them head to toe in honey and then unleash insects onto them,
Oh,
which is like literally my worst nightmare. I would. Whoa.
oh, that would be horrible. The sound, just the sound by itself. You know, forget the mass amount of bugs, just the. No, thank you. No, thank you.
It gives you the shivers. It really does.
Yes.
She would cut off body parts like fingers, noses, or lips. She would tear out their organs.
I think I would take the
She
bugs.
would, what?
I think I would take the bugs now.
She would whip them with stinging nettles. And after all of this, they would still be thrown off a cliff for the wolves to take care of.
Oh.
And then legend says that Elizabeth bathed in their blood to maintain her youth.
Oh. Oh, no way.
Blech.
So, like, she'd just give him to the wolves and then, like, ugh.
I loved that episode so much. Not only because Logan's great and he's my brother, but because that story was so different than anything else I've ever done. Like, I want to do more really old ones, which I'm going to in the next year. I'm going to talk about that at the end of this episode, like what I'll be doing in the next year. But before that, let's go to top moment number 7. Number 7, this is from episode 5, The Coffee Killer with Brayden. This episode was a listener favorite, and honestly, one of my favorites as well. Brayden is such a naturally funny person, and this episode was filled with like pure joy and laughter. It makes me smile when I'm having a bad day, kind of thing. I have a few clips for this one. The first is the very opening of the entire episode where Brayden just starts giggling before the theme music even starts. Give this a listen. Hi friends, I'm Bryn and this is Friends Who Crime. Friends Who Crime. Friends Who Crime. That's freaking funny. Okay, I gotta move through this faster. This is gonna be a really long episode. Okay, the second clip is the nuts moment, is what I like to call it, and I'm just gonna let you hear this one without context.
Like, you really gotta hate somebody to do that kind of thing.
And you gotta think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very premeditated.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
Nuts.
Okay. All right.
He's just so freaking funny. Yep, that one makes me giggle every time. Nuts! Okay, alright. This last clip was from the end of that episode, and it's another one that just makes me giggle because Brayden's funny. That's all. That's the only thing I like about it. Okay, here you go. Good.
I did. I was, yeah, I was not expecting to get as like bewildered by that by the end as I did, but that's really cool. Thanks.
Nice. Job well done.
Yeah. I'm also now scared of my coffee cup on the table.
Yeah, be careful with your coffee.
She's out there.
She's out there. Oh gosh. This is giving me so much dopamine. I laughed so hard at that. Sometimes I literally will still listen to that episode because it's so funny. I don't listen to a lot of them after I've edited them, but there are a few. And that's part of why I am making this top 10. This is definitely a top 10 moment for me. All right, moving on to number 6. top moment of Friends Who Crime. This is from episode 20 with Alyssa. And I liked this episode because it was a nice contrast to darker episodes that I was doing at the time. Alyssa brought her personality and the fun to her episode. She's such a fucking hoot, and the fun that we were having while we were recording really came through, I think. I still laugh about this whole snake oil salesman thing, which I have since realized I may have been wrong about snake oil not existing. I'm honestly not entirely clear on that whole thing. I'm gonna play that for you right now, and you can let me know. It also foreshadowed the judge's later characterization of him as a snake oil salesman. Someone who consistently manipulates the truth for their own benefit.
I do love that term of phrase, by the way. Snake oil salesman is so funny.
I agree.
Also, what is snake oil?
You've never heard that before?
I mean, I've heard of it, but what is snake oil?
It's like a fake. It's like a con.
Okay. Well, I mean, I knew that, but never mind.
like snake oil doesn't exist.
Right? Oh, okay. See, that makes sense. I promise I went to college.
But it was A&M's.
This is true. Barely.
Gosh, listening to all of these makes me love these people even more. Alyssa's gonna be back on for the next episode, by the way. So expect more of that fun and stupidity that she and I create together. It's actually gonna be a really good episode. All right. Moving on, we're gonna get to top moment number 5. This comes from episode 21, where Ben was my guest, and it was the attic lovers case, one of the craziest cases I have ever covered. It's just straight out of a movie. If you told me about it without any proof, I would tell you it was fake, but it is so real. Just in general, and also because Ben has such funny reactions to the whole thing, it wouldn't have been nearly as good if he was not there. He was the perfect guest. His reactions were so genuine and very what the fuck is going on here, which is so appropriate for the story. Dolly called Fred at work, claiming her sewing machine was broken. When Otto...
Something was broken. Something was broken on her. It wasn't the sewing machine.
When Otto arrived, she didn't just open the door. She opened it wearing nothing but a silk robe, stockings, and perfume. Incredible. It's very bold.
I love Dolly.
Every night, Fred would go to sleep completely oblivious to the fact that his wife's teenage lover was living above him
That's not real.
just a few feet away.
That's not real.
It
But
literally-
damn, Dolly's a badass. 'Cause
I-
that's fucking. That is hot. She's damn.
Oh my god, that's such a good one too. Damn. I gotta pull it together. Number four top moment is from episode 12, where I had my older brother, Blaine, on as a guest. This is another one of my favorite cases that I've covered. It was recent. It was kind of in the middle of going to trial. We were able to do an update episode on the case a few weeks after the original one was posted. And Blaine is just the bomb. His audio was questionable, but the content was fantastic. And not to toot my own horn, but my research on this case, I think, was really good. Some of my favorite research, content-wise, that I've done.
And Bryn, I have to do a a sibling interruption. I'm just now noticing in your light fixture above your head, you have 4 of the 5 lights in there. There is a light missing.
You're right. I don't know why. I think because the light bulbs that are in here, I have like the soft lighting light bulbs. Okay. And I think I only had 4, so I just left the other one out.
Okay, so you just left it. Hey, you know what? Creative solutioning is what we're going to call that. So just so you know, like, I'm like listening to every detail. I'm like, this is really cool, right? Like, what I mean by what's happening is not cool, but just like how the story is progressing is good. So it's like I'm intrigued, right? Like I'm like, what is happening? Who is this person? Because my initial thought was, okay, it's one of the roommates, right? Like why when the police say we have no suspects, I'm like, my initial thought is, well, the roommates, right? Like they're alive. How are they not suspect number 1, number 2? But if one of them's an eyewitness to it, part of me still wants them to be a suspect, right? If I'm a police officer, because I'm like, can we verify this in any way, right? I don't know about survivor number 2, and I do want to know about VeggieTales and the Angry Eyebrows Man as soon as possible. But it's interesting how this is unfolding. So you're doing a really good job.
Thank you, Blaine.
I'm now interested. I've actually, while we've been talking, started like following certain things because I'm like, now I want to know. I want to know what's going to happen here.
You are welcome. Blaine's audio literally sounded like someone was like drum rolling behind him the whole time and like smacking pots and pans together. But he had such good insights. And Blaine, I think once you settled into like the vibe of the podcast and you realized like, oh, this is not that serious, you had so much fun. Like the update episode was so awesome. You have been one of my favorite guests for sure. And you don't know it yet. I don't know why I'm speaking directly to you, but you don't know it yet, but you're going to be a guest on the podcast soon. We're going to get that together. All right, moving on. We have gotten to our top 3 moments in this podcast. Number 3 is from episode 31 with the Carrie Farver case where I had Issa on. I put this in the top 3 because I think this episode was one of my strongest, like research-wise and storytelling-wise. This was like another crazy-ass story that Issa like handled with such grace. Like there's just such ridiculous things that happen. It's one of those that like you wouldn't believe if someone told you. But anyway, here is a clip from that episode. Enjoy. On December 4th, 2015, so this is 3 years after Carrie's disappeared.
Wow.
Liz walked into the sheriff's office to complain about Carrie's harassment. Blink, blink. LOL.
Yeah, your face is great.
WTF.
Just like, okay. Okay, Liz. Once again.
Yes, exactly. Like, come on, Liz.
What the fuck are you trying to do here? Okay.
But that gave Detective Avis the opening to go to Liz's house to quote unquote investigate the harassment, right? Liz, panicking and thinking someone was framing her, quote unquote, volunteered her cell phone to the police. Okay?
Oh.
The very next day, December 5th, Liz shows up with a gunshot wound in her leg. Okay?
Bryn.
She claimed she had been walking through, I think it's called Big Lake Park, and she sat on a bench, and that a woman came up behind her and pointed a gun at her head and said, "Get down on the ground." And she was like, "No, I'm not going to get down on the ground." So the woman shot her in the leg and ran away. Yep.
Okay.
And they were
All
like,
right.
"Did you get a look at her face? What does she look like?" And she's like, "No, she was behind me. I didn't turn around. She had a gun. Like, I just didn't move." So
Okay.
she's got a gunshot wound in her leg. She first told officers it was a random attack. And then she said later, she was like, "No, that was Carrie. For sure." Like, I recognized her voice. That must have been Carrie. She targeted me. The detectives.
That's also like that's like sus in itself because it's like, how do you know her voice so well?
Exactly.
I
You don't even know her.
Yeah. You don't know her. What the heck?
All right, y'all. We are down to number 2. This comes from episodes 34 to 36, the Austin Yogurt Shop Murders, because it was my first 3-part series. This series was like a huge milestone for me and for the podcast. It was the most in-depth I have ever gone with a case. The research for this, I kid you not, was like 17 pages. Plus, I had Courtney on for all 3 parts, and she was such a trooper. It was fun to watch her like kind of settle in. She's done 4 episodes now with me. So, Courtney, you have been on the podcast the most. That's exciting. Like, at this point, you know what you're doing. Right before we recorded these episodes, Courtney actually came to me and she was like, "Bryn, you haven't put out an episode in like a month. What's going on?" And I was like, "Well, Courtney, if you'll be my guest for my next episode, I'll start posting again." And then she was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." And then I was like, "Hey, it's gonna be a 3-part series instead." So I kind of roped Courtney into it, but I really wouldn't have had anyone else do those episodes with me. Here is a clip from those episodes. I could not possibly include everything that was so great over those 3 episodes, but in this clip, it's literally like the first thing you hear from the first episode, and Courtney just like completely spaces during the introduction, and it makes me giggle, so here you go. Hi friends, I'm Bryn. And that's Courtney. Sorry. Wait, can we start over one more? Hi friends, I'm Bryn.
And I'm Courtney.
And this is Friends Who Crime. It's the sorry. That gets me. Seriously though, go listen to those episodes because Courtney was so great. She did an awesome job. Those are some of my favorite episodes. And speaking of my favorite things, we have reached the number 1 top moment of Friends Who Crime in the last year. This one is a recent favorite of mine. It was the Slender Man stabbing in episode 37, just a few weeks ago. I wanted to put this one as number 1 because it shows how much the podcast has grown, how much I have grown. I think it was really funny. The research, I think, was really good. It just was like the most perfect little bubble of an episode. My guest on this one wanted to remain anonymous, so I had to put a filter on his voice and change his name. And he decided on a ridiculous fake name that I will never forget, and I will never let him forget. So, all right, number 1. Woo! Hi, friends. I'm Bryn.
And I'm, you said not to say Lieutenant Governor Rick Perry.
Please do not use the name Lieutenant Governor Rick Perry.
Okay, I'm Rick, is the name we'll say.
Okay, and this is Friends Who Crime. Well, and you knew reality from fantasy
Most of the time, yeah.
most of the
Yeah.
time, even at 12.
Yeah. And then I became lieutenant governor.
And then you became lieutenant governor. Well, anything else? Anything else you got?
Is this where I plug my podcast?
You're welcome to do that. Please do.
Yeah, I don't have one. Yeah, no, this is Lieutenant Governor Rick Perry. I hope you enjoyed, and don't believe everything you read, kids. Maybe that's the life lesson today. The internet's usually not real. It's getting less and less every day.
That's very true.
No.
If I asked ChatGPT to make me a picture of Slenderman right now, it could scare the shit out of me.
I think is that the third time we've said his name. Is he supposed to appear now? Ah!
Can you imagine?
No.
This sign-off phrase has never felt so poignant. Remember, friends don't let
do-
friends
Oh, I fucked
commit
it up.
crimes.
Oh, we can cut that. Do it again. Do it again.
Remember,
Friends don't let friends
commit crimes. Bye.
See ya.
Is he not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? Oh my gosh. Oh, I loved having that guy that I cannot name. He who must not be named. I liked having him as a guest, so he'll be back on as well. Maybe under the guise of a different politician. Who knows? We made it to the end of the countdown, y'all. Woot woot. I hope that was fun for you. That it was as fun for you as it was for me, because that was a lot of fun for me. As we come to the end of this episode, I just want to take a minute to really say thank you. This podcast has pushed me in ways that I did not expect, and it's helped me grow as a producer, a researcher, a storyteller, and honestly, just like as a human being. It's forced me to reach out to friends, old friends, new friends, friends in Austin, friends across the country, and reconnect in ways that feel really meaningful to me. It's taught me patience, it's taught me discipline, it's taught me how to sit with some really heavy stuff, but still find those moments of levity and like personal connection. And most of all, it's reminded me how powerful it is to create something just because I love to do it. There are definitely moments where it feels like nobody's listening. It feels like it doesn't like matter when I don't post an episode one week, or like nobody's recognizing how much work that I put into the research and the editing. But that really isn't what this is about, is what I've come to realize. This podcast is for me. It's a creative outlet. It's my passion project. It's a way to explore my interests and create a space where I get to connect with really, really cool people that I love. And the fact that all of you choose to follow along and listen and share and react and just care about what I'm doing, that is something that I will never take for granted, ever. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this weird little idea that somehow turned into something real. And thank you for giving me a reason to keep this up for an entire year. Looking ahead to year number 2, I am so excited to explore bigger stories and get even better at production and bring on new guests and familiar guests and continue to just create the chaos and laughter that this podcast has become. I want to collaborate with other podcasts. That's a goal this year. I want to push myself creatively. I want to keep growing, keep learning, keep making episodes, potentially put together like a Patreon. I want to make sure that these episodes get more informative, more engaging, but that I stay respectful while also like being funny, hopefully, and still fun to listen to. Some of the cases that I'll be covering this year include Lori Vallow Daybell, which is a crazy one. That lady is insane. No offense, I guess. She's out there. She's listening. I hope she isn't. I'm also going to cover Jack the Ripper, and I'm already overwhelmed about that. That is going to be a multi-part series for sure. That is a rabbit hole. If you've never gone down that rabbit hole, just you wait. Just you wait. I'm ready. I'm also going to be covering Ed Gein. The newest series on Netflix, the Monster series, was about Ed Gein, and he made furniture out of people. So that'll be upsetting, but also really interesting. And then the other one that I'm definitely already working on covering is William Bonin. It's not Bonin. It looks like Bonin. It's William Bonin. I've bought the books. I'm doing the research. He is a nasty one. That is an evil, evil person. But the stories of the victims need to be told. So I'm excited about all of those. And those are just the beginning. As always, if you have case suggestions, if you have a story or a case that you're dying for me to cover, or episodes that you'd love to hear, please message me. There's Instagram at Friends Who Crime. Email is friendswhocrime@gmail.com. You can text me if you have my number. I love hearing people's ideas, and I love incorporating people's ideas into the podcast. So many of my episodes have come directly from listener recommendations, so please send those my way. As I close up here, thank you again, I can't say it enough, for an incredible first year of Friends Who Crime. Here's to year 2, more stories, more laughter, more chaos, hopefully better audio. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, friends don't let friends commit crimes. Bye. Woohoo! 1 year! 40 episodes, bitch! That's crazy. That's crazy. I did that. Woo! Who's a podcaster now?